So I came across this thanks to, yeah, again, Facebook. I mean, even although they suppress many pages, and yeah, without a doubt, including mine. I mean, after all, let's be honest, I've actually got far more followers on Facebook than I could ever hope to these days achieve in YouTube. Yeah, and I've said, look, if you, I mean, I see cafes, like quite popular cafes and eateries and, whatever, and they don't have anywhere near the amount of followers I've got. Now, there's people out there with hundreds of thousands, if not millions. I get all that. But, oh my God, you really, for me, I mean, occasionally I'll get some responses, absolutely, yeah. But not in the big scheme of things, really. Anyway, we've had that chat before, but I still think Facebook's really quite useful. I would argue, especially now. I mean, think about the following. This is the Guardian, yeah. Oh, Slurpy Dave will be well chuffed that I'm doing a vid with the Guardian, yeah. Involved in it. Well, no, you know where I'm going. They're not involved in it, but involving the Guardian. An article. I struggle. I mean, honestly, the Guardian is so shamelessly, pro world government, and humans are the main cause of everything. But even for them, you reckon this is maybe a step too far? The fact that second-hand booksellers in the UK and Ireland suspect AI firms behind strange bulk orders with the spate of orders. This spate of orders has fueled speculation amongst booksellers. The AI companies are acquiring the books to scan their contents before pulping them. I mean, for most people, they won't care. Like, look at the amount of closures of public libraries in the UK over the last few years. I mean, from memory, apparently, at one stage, I don't know if it's still the case now, that Edinburgh had more public libraries per head of, population than pretty much anybody anywhere else in the UK at one stage. Is it the same now? I don't know. I'll need to go and check on that. But there's no argument in the amount of public libraries. There's been a lot of them that have been shut down. And this is part and parcel of the dumbing down, the destruction of the West, because, it's easier to hoodwink a population that is almost, arguably in many cases, demonstrably illiterate. And let me read you some of this. So, second-hand booksellers in the UK and Ireland are reporting a flurry of bulk orders from mystery buyers amid speculation AI companies are acquiring the tomes for their data. Bookshops contacted by The Guardian say they have been receiving orders from buyers in the US, Canada, continental Europe, and the UK. The increase has been replicated around the world, with booksellers in the US, Australia, and Europe also reporting unusual orders. Stuart Manley, the co-owner of Barter Books in Alnwick, Northumberland. I've never been there from memory, but I hear it's actually quite a nice, quite a lovely looking place with a lot to offer. And on another note, I hear they actually have quite at least, 2 or 3 fine real ale pubs, so fair play to them. Northumberland said the orders, which began arriving 3 months ago, were unusual because they did not follow the typical pattern of being grouped into themes such as sport or motoring. It's definitely a strange combination of books, said Manley. Normally, a book order is on a theme, but this is all over the place. Recent order included requests from an Estonian translation, for an Estonian translation of John le Carre's The Mission Song, a copy of Anne Bronte's Agnes Grey from a specific imprint and the October 1983 edition of Worship. And Anyway, a monthly magazine, Manly, said he had sold hundreds of random books to 3 buyers for a total of about £4,000. It goes on to say Jim Shaughnessy, the owner of MW Books in Clare, Galway, Ireland, said his business had been receiving large, varied orders since May. They are sporadic, presumably machine-driven, and have little in terms of thematic currency. Books on agricultural implements from the 18th century, Africa, through to, think about this, books on agricultural implements in 18th century Africa through to biographies of 1950s racing car drivers. He said, personally, I don't see we have the right to dictate what any customer does with their purchases, but it is more than curious to see what's being selected. David Gower Spence, the owner of Book Lovers of Bath, and I do suspect that whether it's human or AI driven, they're contacting and ordering from people who have an ability to place books, to acquire books. But remember, they're pulping them, the buyers. Said he had received a rush of orders between May and July for about 200 books from buyers who have also been cited by other sellers contacted by The Guardian for this article. One, the Canadian-based Zoom Books, which has featured in other media reports, describes itself as North America's leading book recycling company. Zoom has been contacted for comment by The Guardian. It was overwhelming for a while, and I'm relatively well organised, said Gower Spence. I mean, are they literally buying books and then pulping them under the guise of, well, it's recycling and we've got the data forever? Is this where we're going with that? I mean, this is modern day book burning, I would argue, and who gets access to said information. And it's easy to change said information if it's all digital. It's really scary, but I'll repeat yet again, most people will not care. And yet it's the crux of Western civilization, without a doubt. So one UK-based second-hand bookseller, speaking on condition of anonymity, said, some random orders could come from different buyers but be delivered to the same address. Think about that. The aliases behind these orders are very opaque, even to experienced booksellers, the source said. One delivery code, postcode seen by The Guardian and used for different buyers, points to a group of freight warehouses near Heathrow Airport. The bookseller, who has received orders for 6,000 books from similar buyers since January, worth thousands of pounds, said the buyers were paying, think about this, top whack, and were not seeking a discount despite requesting titles in bulk. It stinks, doesn't it? It's disrupting the second-hand bookselling business because this isn't typical for the trade, the bookseller said. It appears to be either a human or machine dipping into the sandbox of second-hand books, and what they are buying makes no sense in terms of the wider trends in the market. Thank you for bearing with me through that, but it's worth a read, the rest of this. And I'll speak to you soon.